cancer. But when you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arth. That's DP and Haas. We got DP in studio today as we just unveiled a new show. Lloyd's and Lincoln went off without a hitch. I think it's going to be a good one throughout the entire summer. DP's laughing about it because that's how it was pretty smooth. For a debut event, that's about as good as it goes. And, of course, we have Haas in here as well. We got NBA Finals looming tonight, and we'll see what Game 2 looks like. It's just looking a little bit like the Heat have finally met their match, but we'll see. You know, at the end of the game there, they make another three, bring it down within 6 points. Who knows how the rest of that goes, but as it looks right now, Denver definitely looks like the favorite. But again, plenty of things to talk about. Haas, let's bring you in. How's it going, man?
How cool is it to do a show with your son?
Haas, 1 second here. I think we're losing you a little bit. Oh, go ahead and try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're all set, Haas. Go for it.
I said, how cool is it to do a show with your son? That's so cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're trying to find through all of the stuff that we do, it gets interesting because each thing has its own chemistry, its own legs, its own heart, its own brain, and ideas come up and you go, I'm not sure about this one, but let's try it anyway. And then they work because ultimately all of what we're doing is just telling stories. Like we're just sharing time about things we care about. But those are two unique humans who have excelled at such a high level. You know, think about it. That Ramel Jr., I mean, his home high school basketball court was where the Lakers play. Like that, LeBron James is at all of your high school games. You know, you're playing on national TV as a 16-year-old.
I think I would have peaked at that point.
Yeah, like
so shout out to Ramel for staying humble and like, there's more.
Right?
We get better.
Right? To not lose that and to be constantly open to lessons and growing and then going out of your comfort zone. I mean, he could have done the comfortable thing, stayed in Cali, could have gone to any university in California, any university in California, and said, you know what? I'm going to try to do something different. I'm going to try to go to Nebraska. I'm going to redshirt. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm not going to be over anxious. I'll be patient. I'll get another year of maturity, emotional maturity, physical maturity, basketball IQ maturity. And then to say, hey, I'm willing to share myself and my dad, my family with Lincoln. Like that, look, all of that's a win. That's just cool stuff all the way around.
You're absolutely right. He definitely had options, I'm sure. And he talked about it. Again, I'll have the podcast up for you guys later today, but definitely recommend it because he talked about just being on that loaded roster out in Cal for Sierra Canyon. And, you know, you look at that roster and, again, he's 6'6" point guard, can pretty much do a little bit of it all. And he's still flashing on that loaded of a roster. So, again, the fact that, you know, he probably could have stayed in California if he really wanted to. He could have gone anywhere. But, yeah, we're lucky to have him. And, again, that show's going to go every Sunday from 11 to 12. Definitely recommend to check it out. It's going to be a good one over the summer, definitely to get us through before we get in some football and basketball again. But for now, definitely catch that one going because it's going to be a good one for a long time coming, I think.
Agreed. DeBreezy, what's happening with you? Hey, Haas, quick shout-out to one of our own. If you're watching the College World Series, Alabama is playing through, and the young man that both Haas and I coached together is pitching for Alabama, got the win in last night's late inning win against Troy. But Hunter Hoops, who played hoops for Hoss and I back in Virginia, he came in hot, man. Came in and closed it. Actually, shut it down in the ninth and got the win and held on long enough for Alabama to get the go-ahead runs to win. Shout out Hunter Hoops for thinking about it. We're proud of you, young man. Hoss, he's as talented as he is. He's much more of a personality, isn't he?
Hey, if you're stockpiling pitchers, it's nice to have that height too. So,
yeah, 6'6" wing, could dunk with two hands from a standstill, shoots threes, lights out. Yeah. Not a bad athlete to have.
Serves popcorn between innings and cotton candy and throws right and left-handed. No.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. I think we would be remiss if we don't start with the bloodline.
Oh yeah.
I think we would be failing if we don't start with the bloodline. Night of Champions gave us a full meal, 7-course meal. It was set up well, great appetizers, great sides, full on, finished with a great dessert with a cherry on top. And we all kind of wondered what it would show up and look like Friday at SmackDown. And they teased and tempted us, right? And set the table. Better storytelling. Again, great storytelling demands the standard be met. Heyman being absolutely deliciously Paul Heyman. Everybody else in the room honoring the code of high level. And then they answered, they okey-doed us, made us think a thing was going to happen, and then threw the curveball and said, no, we're going to take you through all your emotions, and the star emerges as Solo. Hoss, what were your thoughts?
So many things. One, it was nice to have a Triple H sighting. He didn't take away the moment too much. That belt was pretty cool. I'm wondering if he's just going to wear that one, or are they going to let him rock 3 belts? Is that just his belt to keep at home for getting the 1,000th day? There's some thoughts around that. That belt was really cool.
Yep.
With all that said, there's 3 guys that should win Money in the Bank. And they were all in that ring, not named Roman Reigns. Any one of those 3 winning Money in the Bank is a story.
Or any of the 5.
Well, of course.
Because I would still consider Sammy and KO as a part of the story, because they're just going to agitate. They'll be the 2 old men in the Muppets, just hanging out on the air, just yelling down at them. Beat him up, Solo. Like it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a perfect picture right there. And again, I'm kind of curious as the story lays out. I want to ask you guys this, because you guys have the history behind it. When they're writing out these stories, how far out are they writing this? Do you think they're planning like 6 months ahead, years ahead at a time? 18 months. Where does that number come from?
18 months. I mean, and there's a legion. There's a collection of WWE stars or wrestling stars,
right,
who write the stories behind. There's a lead writer. There are several contributors. Formerly, it used to be Pat Patterson and the Briscoes, people who held titles. There's some jobbers who are just good workers who are always considerate of the other man, the lower man, and of course the McMahons in different levels. And each person tells stories differently.
Right.
As a matter of fact, there's some great wrestling documentaries over the different people who get to create the storylines. Vince McMahon has his favorites. Hunter has his favorites. Stephanie has her favorites. Shane has his. Every now and then, Linda McMahon comes in and corrects them all. Like there's tons of depth to it, and then sometimes it changes. Injuries.
That's what I was curious, because sometimes just straight up off script too.
Well,
Forget the
injuries change everything. As a matter of fact, a lot of titles change hands because of an injury in a match, and they give there's a code word. They give the code word saying, "Okay, I'm on fire."
Okay.
And the referee knows, look, just finish it, wrap it up, take the strap, or disqualify. And then, or somebody loses a title because they're secretly hurt,
right?
And they need to have a surgery and recover, or it's just time for them to go on vacation. Like you've been the champ. Roman just did his 30-day vacation. Yeah. They didn't take the strap from him to do that, but it happened. Charlotte, wedding plans and all of those. There's 4 women wrestlers who are currently pregnant. So like Carmella's pregnant. So she's got time away. Remember Haas, they thought that she was going to win Money in the Bank again, but then she found out she was pregnant. So that took that away. She was supposed to be the one that ran. And instead Natalya had to take on Rhea Ripley. So yeah, there's tons of, like, all of this stuff always plays into it. And then you get into the depth of the roster and who needs to be there. So they know who they plan to feature at WrestleMania. Injuries aside, I mean, Braun Strowman's injury, Drew McIntyre had an injury. Haas, if you had to make a bet right now about the 2 main fights at WrestleMania next year, who do you think they're planning on? What would you do?
Rock Roman, number 1.
Still.
And then triple threat, Jimmy, Jay, and Solo. He'll somehow get there.
What do you do? What do you do with Sammy and KO? You can't leave them on the island of lost children.
Well, because they had a tag team match that stole the show at the last WrestleMania, do they keep the tag team belts on them for that long? Is that a consolation prize? Or are they proud of it? Are they proud, like the women's side, where they're like, I want to be WWE tag team champs? So WWE needs someone other than the Street Profits who needs to be broken up. They need some tag teams to come in, and they're just so far below the Bloodline and KO and Sammy. It's just not believable for anyone to compete with them. So,
but they had it, right? Didn't they have it with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre before the injury? Like, wouldn't that have been? Wouldn't you want to root for Braun Strowman and Sheamus together? Well, I'm searching, like,
it's the closest. It's the closest,
right? I mean, the tag team needs to exist. It needs to exist, and it may have to come from, like, this is a superpower situation. This is where Hogan and Macho get together, or Hogan and Warrior. You have to take 2 people, right? Like 2 people who fight high at the level that you're obviously not giving a run to. You did that with Sammy and KO. In order to compete with Sammy and KO, it has to be somebody. I mean, in truth, I think it's a decoy, and I think that Roman and Solo have to be tag champions to set up Solo's turn against Roman in whatever way you do that. But who from Friday night? It can't be Imperium. It can't be like break them up now. Like Baldy needs to break up with them like right now, right? Like that needs to be a thing. But who are we missing, Haas?
So the people that are on Raw are the only ones that have the capability, but you need a storyline for the singles on Raw. So the three main guys on Raw, any 2 of them would work. Could Daniel Bryan come over? That would work.
Yeah. Well, can you do like the next Seth Rollins
and Rhodes,
some other faction starts. Like, can't you bring up NXT? Are there 3 people at NXT that they can faction this thing into some outrage and chaos?
Could Braun Breaker and his uncle do it?
Yeah. Man, look, at one of these weeks we're gonna have to talk about like some of these, like, you know, AX and look. I saw a dude that they popped with this dude. I don't even know his name, but it just in passing, it ended up on my TV. Channel changed and it was on.
Right.
And Haas, dude walked out of there like he don't even know that Gold's Gym exists. Like he doesn't know this is not even a resistance band dude. This is a pure yoga dude who and I don't mean in like Roadhouse yoga. I mean like I don't mean Dalton like badass yoga. I mean this dude like this dude is all smoothie all the time.
Like we got the incense with the yoga section
right,
going.
like he's that like Haas, sell me on AEW. What am I missing?
The thing that they have coming back is CM Punk is going to be on their new show on Saturday on June 17th in Chicago. So that's the one thing that they have that has me excited. There's plenty of AEW fans will be like, "Oh, come on, the Four Pillars just fought," and there's the Bullet Club and the story with Ambrose and
the Purple Slushies and the Daisy Boys and the like they're the Thunderbirds from Greece. Like I fully expect them to break out into song at any moment. Like it's just Haas, come on, man. You could beat up everybody in AEW.
Now, we said all that, and you said Gold's Gym. Well, the guy that should really fight for a tag team champ, what if they put Brock and Bobby Lashley as a team?
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. All in. But they have to be heels.
Of course they have to be heels.
They have to be heels. Although, start them as faces. Like, make me buy in. Make me root for them. Right? Like we fully believe like they just beat up all the bad guys. They just beat up every bad guy. And then we buy in and we go, yay! And then they go,
and you pull the rope.
Suckers. And you put some hero through a window. Like I Haas, what is the thing? Are you heel guy now? Are you like fully on as a heel guy?
Always. Always.
It says so much about like I really if you're out there listening, it is a personality profile that if you're out there. So we went when they came to Lincoln and Bach, who's just a diehard wrestling fan, he doesn't care, but Bach only roots for heels.
I could see that.
Like
looking at Bach.
Haas, he was, I mean, loud booing, like with his wife next to him, like his tiny little wife next to him. And Haas, he is like, if Haas did this in front of his wife, she would grab him by the ear and drag him to the bathroom to lecture him. Like Haas, am I wrong?
I was a Triple H guy. I loved how Stephanie was, Vince was, NWO. That's what it is. Randy Orton as a bad guy.
I'm so worried about you. Do I need to go to therapy with you?
Bloodline, like Roman Reigns, the way he does it.
No, do I need to come back and go to therapy with you? Is that
bring Bach with you?
Right,
you
like
guys can all hash it out together.
Like, you know, like it's an intervention. Me and Harrison just show up one day, and it's me, Harrison, and Caroline, and we're just waiting for you to come in the door with the kids, and we're just like, Haas, listen. Enough. This is enough. We deserve better.
Haas, you got anything to respond to that before we get out of here? Defend your name a little bit.
Why wouldn't you love the bad guys? They get to be fun, like NWO Hogan, black and white Hogan. That's fun. That's fun. Not John Cena. You don't want to cheer for John Cena.
He literally just said.
All right. We got to throw out the break here. This is the Breeze on Ticket Weekends. We got to set up an intervention date for Haas and Bach here coming up. So we'll throw out the break. Again, the Breeze. Ticket Weekends. I'm Harrison, DP, Haas. We'll catch you guys after the break.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.7 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Babe, pack your bags. We're going to Vegas.
Vegas?
We just got the estimate from the wedding caterer, and we're going to have to elope.
Actually, Members Owned Credit Union is offering no-fee home equity lines of credit. We can borrow what we need with equity from the house.
Wait, so we can keep the bacon wrap dates for the cocktail hour?
We can keep the bacon wrap dates. From wedding bells to trekking the globe and everything in between, capture your dreams your way with a no-fee Members Owned Credit Union home equity line of credit. Learn more at membersownedheloc.org. Limitations may apply. Equal housing lender.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, it's Tori DeVito. In every family, small conversations can make a big impact. Your honesty about that part of your life gave me a sense of security that I wanted to uphold in my own life.
I wanted you to know from someone who's been in recovery 30 years now that hard work is what creates, not alcohol or other drugs. I said it a lot, and I'm glad you took it to heart.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is your captain. We are experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time, on the banks of your local pond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and station.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourBP.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just now... It's a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
Keisei Tamanaga is returning to Nebraska. Just elevates the ceiling of what Nebraska basketball can be this upcoming year. This feels good. Nebraska basketball feels good going in.
When you think of Keisei Tominagi, you think of three, right? And obviously, he shot 40% from three-point range this last season. Just a highlight waiting to happen with him. And I believe that his cuts off the ball on the offensive end and his ability to finish quickly, he just catches it and finishes it all in one motion. I think that's going to be extremely important for him.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns. This is The Breeze. We got host DP and Haas, as always. Had a good show so far. We figured out a few things about Haas maybe we didn't need to know, but nonetheless, here we are. Supports the villains. That's what we learned on the first segment. But again, Haas, I'll let you kind of recap on where we left off here. But actually, real quick, let me shout out. If you guys want to join the show, Starter Heyman text line, that's 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line as well, same number. And again, if you want to put a face to the voice, a good way to do that is through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. And Allo, channel 951 on Allo, great way to do that. And again, I want to mention that we are switching to Royals here in about a couple of minutes. So if you want to watch the stream, definitely go to Allo or Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, as I said, and feel free to text in on the FM airwaves nonetheless. But Haas, I'll bring you in here. We can leave off and decide where you want to keep this next segment going. Oh, you had yourself muted there, Haas.
Those of you that are listening,
we lost you. You were muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
No?
You're good.
Okay. For those of you that are
You're
listening, help me out. Help me out and tell me who's your favorite heel of all time. Tell me who's your favorite heel of all time. So I'm not the only one because
Sounds like
we all
Alexa
know.
had an opinion there.
Alexa was all of it. Alexa like Harley Race. Harley Race was the greatest heel of all time.
The greatest heel.
George's? What was? It's not Curious George. What was George?
That's Curious George, right?
No, the wrestler.
Oh,
Gorgeous George.
Awesome.
Gorgeous George. I don't know. I had a brain cramp. So Gorgeous George is the heel of all heels. The first, because he literally said, "Here's every box that's normally checked. I'm going to check all of these boxes. I'm going to be the worst human I can possibly be." Haas, who do you have? Who would be your top heels?
I mean, again, Triple H was the best at it. Triple H really
But
did.
he went good. He went babyface. Like, you can't be the greatest heel if you ever went babyface. Like, who was always bad?
I feel like a lot of the more recent heels, though, kind of all have that Triple H character arc.
Yep.
You have to almost go back in time. If you're going for a true villain, a guy that
Stone
shows
Cold
up
changed
hating,
it for everybody.
leaves hating. You know, like everyone's just like, screw that guy. I'm glad he's out of here. But damn, he was good.
Yeah, like Stone Cold changed it where they began to realize that there was more money in the shared heel face persona. But Haas,
Scott Hall, Razor Ramon is up there. Underrated.
Yeah. I think Gorgeous George and Harley Race literally traveled the world to beat up good guys. Like, he never went face, I don't think.
Ric Flair has to definitely be in the top 4.
But Flair was the most right? Like, he went
seems too likable,
right?
Like popularity wise.
He was, but like, is there a wrestler that nobody likes?
Dom.
Yeah, you know what? That's the winner right there. That's the, like, look, he is so sold being just an awful human being and a terrible wrestler that he turns normally positive me into a heel. Like, I'm like, oh, you are like, I become a terrible human being when Dom is on screen. I am like a pure Dom. Like, I have failed.
So that's when you show your inner Bach.
Oh, I become Bach Jr., man. Oh my goodness. It just like booing the TV at home by myself.
Hold up. On Monday Night Raw. On Monday Night Raw, there was a segment with the Judgment Day and Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, and they're asking who from the Judgment Day should face these two, and they would go down the list, and they're like, oh, should Damian Priest do it? And there was like no reaction.
Nope.
Should the leader do it? Nope. Should Rhea Ripley do it? No reaction. Still no reaction. Should Dom do it? Everyone on their feet, just as loud as possible. As loud as possible.
Like, is there anything Dom could do to be relevant and get cheered?
The only way to get cheered is to join his dad again and get in the LWO and turn on the Judgment Day and become a good guy and say enough's enough, I'm sorry, things like that. It's the only way.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't care, right? Like, would you care? Like, really?
You
really wouldn't care, right? Like, man, no, stay over there. Like, because then that would be great. Because to have Ray just go, nah, I don't want you as my son. I don't like, and his mother. Like, his mother goes, yeah, you were a mistake.
Oh man, Vince McMahon is probably the biggest heel. All the stories with Stone Cold.
But we liked Vince for a stretch. Like, we liked Vince for a stretch.
So that's the problem with the heel, because you kind of want, like, good way to look at it is it's like, okay, the heel's got to be the Joker, but they can't be more popular than Batman.
Right. Like, it just.
But they are.
That's what makes it like, is that the best heel of all time?
Like Roman Reigns was the most hated person by a lot. Well,
but remember, he started off, he was loved until
they shoved him down our throat.
Yeah, the chair, heard around the world, changed everything. I'm going to look that up because I in my head I think we're missing like a layup or something. I feel like there's like a natural one.
I feel like I gotta go back in time.
The best heel in the last 20 years is Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Heenan. I mean, JBL. Nobody loved JBL. Nobody. I don't think JBL's dad loved JBL. Moolah, the great Moolah.
What era was that?
Moolah was the women's champion. So if you did a Mount Rushmore of women wrestlers, Moolah is at the top. Right? I mean, Hoss? Like nobody ran wrestling for 30 years like Moolah did.
Okay.
Right? And nobody liked her. I mean, she tried to beat up Cyndi Lauper, for crying out loud. Like,
Would you put her in top three heels so far?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right, Hoss? I mean, she tried to beat up Cyndi Lauper. Like, she chased.
Then we got Dom as well up there. I think we agreed on Dom.
So let's make sure we clarify the definition. So for you, the greatest heel is not necessarily the greatest heel, but it's the most hated person.
And you could not have crossed over. Like, you can't make the face turn. Like, never have made the face turn. Or at least poorly do the face turn.
The reason why I bring up Randy Orton is, as a face, he's never that good. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing as a face. But as a heel, man, is he going to handcuff Triple H to the ropes and kiss his wife? Is he going to do that? Is he going to break into her house? Oh, yeah, he is, because it's Randy Orton. Is he going to punt people in the head? He's going to kill legends? That was Randy Orton.
Well, but Randy Orton with Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton with Riddle, like, he went that route. Like, he always turned back, but he went that route. Like he's pop. I'm talking about people that people dislike.
Well, see,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the thing
dumb.
with Randy Orton.
That's
He was
dumb.
popular when I was growing up in high school. Like we liked him because of his trademark.
Yeah, like I mean, Roddy Piper would have been in it, but he turned heel, and so there you go. But
I wanted to say Triple H, but like you said, he turned face eventually.
yeah, I mean, he so through wrestling, they've got Paul Heyman on the list, which I think makes sense. Kurt Hennig, who started as a face, early turned heel and then never went back. The Miz never went back. Rick Rude was never a face. Rick Rude, before he passed away. Was Shawn Michaels ever a face?
Yeah, I mean, he was more of a face than Triple H. If we're gonna say Triple H is a face, everyone loves Shawn Michaels.
Well, they turned on each other, right? So that's kind of the thing is when heels turn against each other. Ted DiBiase. Well, he started as a he was the best wrestler, the best technical wrestler for 15 years. Nobody did ring work like Ted DiBiase. And then he became like he couldn't get over. He was supposed to win the heavyweight title. They picked Hogan instead. He went heel, created the $1 Million Man, stayed there. Edge could have been he turned face. Roddy Piper turned face. Chris Jericho turned face by accident because you made the list.
He's a good heel.
You made the list. Ruined that for him. They've got Triple H at 4, Randy Orton at 3, Flair at 2, Vince McMahon at 1.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
But if we're gonna go with the list that you like, Vicky Guerrero's up there. She was hated when she'd come out. Vicky Guerrero and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, Corbett, that's a great text. He says Mae Young and Moolah were the reasons he got into watching wrestling. So when Mark Henry got Mae Young pregnant and had his baby, I'm not sure I've ever laughed as hard at a wrestling moment as the moment they tried to say that Mae Young was pregnant by Mark Henry.
She was like 60, 70 years old there, Harrison.
67, bro. Her daughter was 67.
As this text goes, DP will read it out. This isn't a fond memory.
He goes further into it. He goes, they hyped up the pregnancy and then turned out the labor that she had. Oh yeah, you can go catch that moment on. Yeah, we can't read that text, but Crowbait, that's good stuff. No, it's absolutely true. Like Haas knows, he remembers the moment.
I'll send you a screenshot of the text, so you can read it for yourself.
Right? Like it could Taker had the greatest pop as a heel when he was a heel, but he went face. Then his brother, and he was a great run as a heel. There were some great runs as a heel. I'm not sure that Ric Flair was ever a face on purpose. But if you're talking about in-ring heel, Harley Race and Ric Flair have to be 1, 2, 1A, 1B, just for the heel work when they were in there. And I think, Triple H ruined it because but he couldn't help it. They were too funny.
Yeah.
Like Triple H and Shawn, they were too funny. Like you had to like them. Like it was, come on.
Too much charisma going on. Yeah, it was hard to turn against them.
But that's what happened. Like that's what happened with The Rock.
Yeah.
The Rock was too much of a face, turned super heel, like super duper heel, and became such a horrible person that all the horrible people rallied. They were like, "Oh, thanks, he's one of us." So, and then if it's not Moolah on the women's side, who's your? Charlotte has not turned face on purpose, but wouldn't she be the biggest heel for women?
She does it the best, but for your definition, she has too many positive moments. Rousey probably gets what you want, which is she's just mean and we don't like her.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember, she started as a face because she broke Stephanie's arm. Like, which they had her with Rock. They had her with The Rock. And I said, it was a great pitch and sell, but they could have done it the other way and had Rousey come in as a heel, knowing that they knew that people weren't going to like her. They knew. They absolutely knew in the negotiation. She was making $800,000 more than the next woman.
She's coming fresh off that UFC.
Yeah.
And she's got that. I mean, she's a real. You don't mess with her.
Well, which is why she should have been the heel, right?
Yeah.
Which is when she. Okay, Hoss. Here's one more before we go to break. Let me. Who would you turn into? Somebody that's been a face, a baby face. Who would you turn into a heel and leave them as a heel forever? Is it Brock? Is it Bobby? Is it Seth? Is it who would it be?
Before I answer that, I want to make sure AJ gets her props because she was a really good female heel.
AJ was a great heel. Yep. Good call.
Yep.
Great call.
Which guy would I turn heel permanently? And it's this era?
No, it could be any era. It could be any era. Because I'm old enough to remember Dusty Rhodes as a heel. Dusty was a bad guy. Like him and Dirty Dick Murdoch. They were terrible.
They should change Cody to heel right now, since you bring up Dusty. Change him to heel right now and see what would happen. Because he is such a better heel than face. They just need faces.
I think they need him as the hero, though. Don't you like? I mean,
it writes itself. He's angry. He hasn't won a belt. He keeps getting beat up.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm angry. I'm just gonna beat up everyone.
Yeah. Well,
that one makes sense. The
Yeah.
storyline. I mean, it goes together.
Well, he knows how. He
Uh-huh.
already knows how.
Sledgehammer to the throne.
Yeah, yeah, and then the great chase, the great chasing of the pursuit of the title. Yeah, not bad.
You got anything else to add in here before we wrap it up and go to our last break here, Haas? I was going to throw Gunter in the mix, but
boo that man. Boo that.
We said, did we talk about irrelevant or heels? Because that's irrelevant.
That was the joke.
Boo that man.
Oh, the body transformation that they're trying to sell us on, like he's Nikola Jokic, and he can get back on defense now. Still does not look like an athlete. Sorry.
Name him the Slim Fast champion.
Slim Fast champion. I think we could put a pin on it there on the Slim Fast champion. We'll throw it to break. This is The Breeze. I'm Harrison. That's DP. We'll be back right after this.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
March is a month of good luck. From epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts this month at Mullen Motors.
No tagline, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors. This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-week challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
March is full of high school state basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages, deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A. Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $10 off any athletic shoes $105 and under, and get $15 off any shoe over $105. Choose from respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, On, and 361 Running. And don't forget the trendy Hey Dudes. A new shipment just arrived for the season. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66 and Q in Lincoln. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into Ticket Weekends. I am Harrison Arns. That's Haas DP. This is The Breeze on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Again, if you guys want to watch the show, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as Allo, our partner, channel 951. Plenty of ways to engage in the show. We left off talking more wrestling, going through the greatest heels of all time. Pretty interesting conversation. Again, if you guys want to join in on that conversation, start our Heyman text line. That's 402-464-5685. But Haas, bring you back in here. Want to stay on WWE? We got Game 2 of the NBA Finals tonight. We got about 5 minutes here. Where do you want to go, man?
We can spend 5 minutes on the NBA. So with how Game 7 went, that was pretty exciting as a Celtics hater, just to see them just get dismantled on their own home court. It was awesome. I don't know how Miami does it. They don't have depth. Tyler Herro coming back is going to be a major plus for them. How rusty is he going to be? I imagine he's been shooting a lot just without contact. So Denver looks really good. Denver looks really good. The question is, can Tyler Herro help a little bit? And where's Jimmy Buckets been the last 4 or 5 games? Because he hasn't really been himself.
Mm-hmm. Haas, let me ask you as a coach. So I'm now talking to Coach Breezy. And I know for a fact that like Haas is a stat freak. So even during games, he's the first coach over to the scores table to get the official stats.
He's the guy looking at stat
Like
views after the
he's
game,
got
getting
the stats,
everything.
right? And then Stat Haas gives the evaluation. So Coach Tabrizi, you look at the stats from game 1, and what it says is that Miami took 96 shots to Denver 79. 96 shots. Miami made 39 shots. Denver made 40. Miami took 39 three-pointers, which means that quick math tells us that 67 twos were taken. 67 two-point attempts. Haas, the Denver Nuggets had 8 fouls the entire game. 8. And Miami shot 2 free throws. 2 free throws out of 96 attempts. Also out of 11, they had 11 offensive rebounds. 8 fouls.
All that's going to lead to that shot disparity you're talking about too.
Haas Tabrizi, if it's your team that shot 96 shots and Denver, the opposing team, only had 8 fouls, what would you say to the official?
I wouldn't say anything. I'd throw a chair on the court.
Right, like those numbers are crazy. Like there's no analytics for an officiated game where a team takes 96 shots and 18 fouls against them. For 39 rebounds, 8 fouls were called.
It was a playoff record, not just a finals record, I believe.
2 free throws versus 96 field goal attempts. Look, if I'm the NBA, if I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm expecting a letter from the Miami Heat. Because in a still competitive game, that somehow Denver took 20 free throw attempts to 2. If Miami gets half of those, it's a 1-possession game. What say you? How important are those numbers looking at game 2 tonight?
Well, with how we keep talking about how the NBA is structured, I'm sure we can decide which refs will be reffing game 2, and the things will be completely different. It won't be 20-2. I can guarantee that. I'll guarantee that.
Right? Like that's the way there's zero. I mean, great players, even if you're just standing around shooting threes, which they didn't do, 67 2-point shots. The 11 offensive rebounds, that free throw number has to correlate and has to match that. That's just the rule of officiating, because contested shots. Because here's the other number that they even further validates it. They only had 4 blocks. So it's not like they were up swatting off the rim. They had 4. I think the NBA has a real tough task tonight. And does the NBA want this to go 2-0 or 1-1? That really is the question tonight. Hoss, does the NBA want this series even after tonight, or do they want it 2-0?
They want it even after tonight easily, because they're hoping for Game 6 or Game 7. If it's 2-0, it's going to be pretty hard. Unless Tyler Herro starts scoring 30 points a game and then Jimmy Butler has friends opening him up so he could score. Denver's undefeated at home.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious about this one. I don't want to talk. We've already kind of discussed it with the refs. There's only so much we can kind of figure out from them how they're going to want to decide this one. But the one thing I noticed is Miami, I'll be curious if they try to bust out the 2-3 zone again. They did it for a little bit in the first half, and it went very poorly for them early on. Jokic was in there. Then the second half, they tried it again. Jokic was out of the game. It worked pretty well for them, but I think it's a little bit of fool's gold. I'm sure the stats would say it worked, but it looked like they're getting a lot of open shots, something the Celtics weren't able to do, and I think that's why they did get eliminated, in that 7th game. They never figured out how to defeat a 2-3 zone. The whole idea of zone is to get you uncomfortable, and then until that offense gets comfortable, breaks it, then you're rolling. Celtics just simply couldn't do it. They weren't hitting shots. They were bringing that defense way up high, so they're catching up top. That's going to open up the inside, get it inside, kick it back out. All that's supposed to just get you in a little discomfort until you solve it. And the Celtics, through 7 games, could never figure out that zone. Heat tried it a few times against the Nuggets. Really wasn't working for him. Again, I think it's a little bit of fool's gold in the second half. They're just missing wide open shots. But I'm going to be really curious to see if they even, really try that when Jokic is on the court again, or if it's purely when he's off the court. And again, I won't spend too much time on the refs because I don't know how you can even evaluate that as a fan. Like, it's just tough to do. How are they going to influence it? I don't know. When I watched the game when, the Miami Heat only had 3 free throws, I didn't even see a ton of bad calls. I just saw a lot of calls that could have been called that weren't on one team. And the Nuggets were obviously getting a few touch calls here and there. But, yeah, again, I think it's probably going to be Denver again tonight. I really have a hard time seeing the Heat find a way to do this unless we see some pretty egregious influencing, we like to call it.
You don't beat a 1, a 2, and a 4. Actually, you don't beat a 9, a 1, a 2,
right.
A 4. Or sorry, it was a 10. A 10, a 1, a 2, and a 4, and not have some dog in you. So they'll win tonight. Miami will win tonight. It's going to be a series.
Yeah, I'm in that lane. Caleb Martin. So here's what I know to be factual. We can close on this. That Harrison, DP, and Haas did not play a single minute or take a single shot. And we were only outscored by Caleb Martin and Max Strus by 3 points.
0 for 10 Strus, 1 for 9 Martin.
They scored 3 more points than we did.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't play.
Probably don't expect that again.
Yeah,
through the Nuggets.
Yeah. Well, I'm with Haas. I think the Heat get one tonight.
All right, so we got it right here, squaring away 1-1. Again, this is going to be the end of the breeze. Really appreciate you guys listening. And again, plenty of great shows this morning, starting with Bigger Than the Score. Then, of course, Fitness Fanatics had a nice little rerun on that one. And then Lloyd's and Lincoln, that one debuted today. I'll have that podcast up for you later. Definitely recommend to check it out, as well as download the breeze, all that good stuff at theticketfm.com. We'll wrap it up. Thanks, Haas, for being here. DP as well. We'll catch you guys next Sunday.